Hey, Vinyl Community, is Trevor back with another flat round and spun. This is actually take 3 on this video. The other first 2 takes I did in my hotel room in Buffalo. Yeah, as the thumbnail indicates, this is my haul video from this amazing killer past weekend in Buffalo with the gang. I can't say enough how great it was to spend those few days with that group of people. Just amazing, amazing souls. I might as well list them off right now. That was the part. This is the reason why I'm on take 3, because I knew I forgot names. So I had to go through the list, and actually I'm gonna cheat and I wrote them down. So of course, meeting in person for the first time after 2.5 years of doing live streams, finally got to embrace Steve at A is for Alice, B is for Bob, and C is obviously for Colton. And then of course MGK, Boston / Buffalo, you know, Colton's manservant. You know, he hosted the party, him and his lovely wife Patty, and Caroline, just amazing, great hosts. Thank you so much for doing that for us. Of course, there's Gary, Physical Format Rock and Roll. Always love hanging out with him. Well, that was my second time hanging out with him, but as some of you know, we're on a text thread and we talk every day. And of course, there's Emma, who I finally got to meet in person. We've been talking for the last couple of years, so it was great hanging out with her. Jack the Vinyl Martini, he was my shopping buddy in Boston last year, and another Pacific Northwest guy like myself. Good to see him. Of course, my riding buddy from here in Michigan, Jeff Witcher, Final Destination. It was great hanging out with him again. Great going across Southern Ontario, get to know him a bit better, and spending the weekend with him. Brian, Embryonic Robot, we all know and love, the guy with a way better vocabulary than me, because I have real limited adjectives when it comes to when I'm talking about this stuff. Randy Nelson, great to meet him finally. Great guy, quiet but knowledgeable, very knowledgeable. Good hanging out with him. David Atkinson, probably one of the guys I was looking forward to the most meeting. Just an amazing dude. I love hearing his stories and stuff. And I love watching his videos, especially when he goes off traveling. Ed on my turntable, just so cool. Just a lovely, lovely guy, full of energy. It's just awesome to finally meet him too. Surprise of the day, he surprised everybody. JT's record room, out of Reno. It was just really weird. I'm standing there with Mike in the big room, and Mike, he invited some people from work, so obviously I don't know what these people look like, and I see some people coming in and out, and all of a sudden I see this guy come in, and I'm like, Mike, is that JT? And he's looking, and he looks confused too, because it was totally unannounced that he was coming. So yeah, it was great hanging out with him. Meeting Rich, Embarrassment of Riches, cool guy, and his wife Tasha, nice to meet her too. A new guy from that works with Mike, but he has started a channel himself. That's Randy, with Lion's Den. Very nice to meet him, talk to him, and we got into a conversation of Black Sabbath. So he's weird. He hates the Ozzy era, but he loves the Dio era, so we're cool with that. And then meeting Mark from Mad for Vinyl, very nice guy, and we subscribe to each other's channels. Did the live stream, and so it was great to have my brother in harms, Anthony, got on there, even though he couldn't hear a word that we were saying, because I mean, he's in Aruba having an awesome time. Then Craig from Spirit of Vinyl popped on for a minute. It was really good to see him. And Richard from Richard's Vinyl Tap Room. Sorry, Richard, I might have gotten your name wrong on, or your title on that wrong, but everyone knows Richard. Awesome guy. And then Dylan, the record spinner, came on for a minute, so it was good to see him too. All right, so I'm 5.5 minutes going through all the names. At least I got all the names now. So we're gonna talk about the haul. So Jeff and I, along with my daughter Grace, made it to Buffalo on Thursday, and we got to the hotel, dropped off all our crap, and then met up with the crew at Revolver Records. There we go. And we started doing what we do best, buy records. So anyway, let's go on with what I got. Got some used, got some newly pressed, not new records, not like a new release, but you know what I mean. Anyway, first off, some people were surprised that I actually like this guy, but I dig him a whole lot, and we're talking Joe Jackson here. Beat Crazy from 1980, a bit new wavy stuff. You know, we all know, you know, Is She Really Going Out With Him? And I think like 2 years later, the Day and Night, Night and Day, whatever that album's called, which is really good, probably one of my favorites. So much of my favorite, I can't even remember the title of it, but yeah, Joe Jackson, Beat Crazy. Another used one, I've never owned an album by this band, but I do dig them as a, you know, a good hard rockin' band. But that's Dawn Patrol by Night Ranger. I'm a big fan of Brad Gillis from this band, awesome player. Let's see, the first thing I saw, I grabbed immediately because I've been looking for the early records of this band. I actually don't own anything on vinyl by this band, but I did have this on cassette back in the day, and that is The Last Command by Wasp, their second album. Really cool stuff. The big singles off this, Wild Child and Blind in Texas. Classic mid-80s heavy metal. Wasp, Last Command. I'm trying to blow through this because I got a lot going on here. I got my first Mo-Fi. I've never owned a Mo-Fi record. And this was like decently priced, but we got First, Last, and Always by the Sisters of Mercy. Good classic 80s goth here. Great stuff. What's the one that I know best on here? Probably Black Planet and Walk Away. I actually got the Walk Away 12-inch at home. So, Sisters of Mercy. And the debut, full length, from, what are they, Denmark? Yeah, I think so, Denmark. King Diamond's band. Merciful Fate, Melissa from '83, I believe. Again, classic stuff. Evil, Curse of the Pharaohs, yes, Black Funeral, Satan's Fall, yeah, awesome stuff. Was this black with yellow marble, so it should look cool. Probably goes well with the artwork there. And then another used, and probably surprised that I have this because I actually do like his work, but it's one of those things like Anthony says, just give me the hits. Nice greatest hits package, and that's Tommy James and the Shondells. Our good friend Sam Sam St. John. It's been a long day. I came down here to take a nap, and I'm like deciding I'm gonna do a video. So Sam, I'm sorry. Congratulations on your wedding this past weekend. Hope it was awesome. But yeah, Sam, I interviewed this man right here a couple months ago. So looking forward to that. So that was Thursday. Friday, we did Niagara Falls. I showed that video also, and went back to the hotel, got a quick change of clothes, met up with everyone, and we ended up going to Black Dots Records and Bar. Yes, we actually had some drinks there too, which could be a dangerous combination. But yeah, great selection there. Oh my God, I walked away hurting. So let's see, let's get this. Well, vinyl wise, I don't own anything and by this band, and I got two, and I'm dipping my toes into the early works. We're talking Foxtrot from Genesis, 1972, I believe. I only knew Watchers of the Sky from this, so looking forward to checking out the rest of this. I know a lot of people have high praise of this album and this era. Then we go into the next era, which is really divided, and probably, especially for this album, even though it's one of my favorites, if it wasn't for the song Illegal Alien, this would be a perfect album for me, and that is the self-titled 1983 album, Genesis. Yeah, especially the opening track, Mama. So dark. Love it. But awesome album there. Let's see, we'll grab this used one here, because I'm with my VC sister there, Emma. Of course, I had to pick up some Cheap Trick, something I've had on CD for years. But yeah, Live at Budokan, all know, all love, classic. I think I'm going to try to just get, at least at this point, the first 4 studio albums of Cheap Trick, and then maybe go on from there. So of course, I had to get that one. Then, since there are 3 members of this band, I got 3 albums from this band from the 70s. We got ZZ Top, we got DeGueo there. Of course, I Thank You is the song I know on there. I have heard Manic Mechanic. That's kind of weird song, but dig it anyway. Then Tejas. This one I was going through, I'm like, what do I know on this one? I don't know anything off the top of my head off this one, but I mean, hell, it's ZZ Top. It can't be bad. And then a favorite of a lot of people, Tres Hombres. So this one I believe has is this the one with cheap sunglasses on it? Well, it's got LaGrange. I know that one. Well, Beer Drinkers and Hellraisers and Jesus Just Left Chicago. Yes, awesome stuff. One of the big surprises, I did this in someone else's video. I can't remember if it was David's or MGK's. And we kind of did one album around the table, and from an OG copy, still sealed, even though it's got a punch hole in it. It is the soundtrack to Decline of the Western Civilization Part 2, The Metal Years. I was floored when I found this. Something I've wanted in a long time. I never see this in the wild. But, you know, it's got songs of people in the movie, Alice Cooper, Faster Pussycat, Lizzie Borden, Megadeth, and Seduce from Detroit. But there's some other bands in there, Metal Church, Rigor Mortis, stuff like that. So looking forward to getting this home and spinning that. Next, we have, for the longest time, my favorite live band. And this is their first record. This is more when they were a hardcore band as opposed to when they later morphed into the more metallic post-hardcore sound. But that's Pain of Mind from Neurosis. This is an altered version of the original artwork, and then they put on like their more modern logo. The other one looked like is, you know, pencil slashes, you know, spelling out Neurosis, but this is the more latter day logo. But yeah, this is, like I said, it's more their hardcore punk era there. So glad to find that at a discount by quite a bit, which is nice. Then from David Atkinson's original neck of the woods of Newcastle, we are talking about Venom live at the Hammersmith Odeon Theater, 1985. I never knew that they pressed this on vinyl. I had this, obviously it was VHS tape back in the day, but I got the DVD of this concert, and I was hoping that it wasn't lifted from that exact soundtrack. I have heard this streamed, and it did sound pretty good for it being Venom, and if you know what I mean, they're quite a loose sounding band, so, but fun nonetheless. Venom 1985 live. And then the big one, I got my third Rhino high fidelity record, and of course it's close to home, coming from Detroit, and we are talking the debut from the Stooges, classic 1969, Little Doll, I Want to Be Your Dog. You know, some people claim this along with Kick Out the Jams by the MC5, another Detroiter. You know, ground zero of punk. So, yeah, if you haven't, you know, if you thought about getting, you know, the Rhino high fidelity stuff, pull the trigger on it. These things sound amazing. I believe they really give like the, you know, not that I really owned mobile fidelity. I mean, I just got my first one, and, you know, some of the higher audiophile ones, you know, they run about $40, so they're giving those companies a run for their money. These things are great, fantastic, so highly recommend. So that's it. That's quite a bit. Now I gotta somehow stuff this into my suitcase Tuesday night for a Wednesday morning flight back to Seattle. So again, doing all this with that group of people was just an amazing experience. Love them all. It was so cool. And, you know, if those who are also in the vinyl community, if you get a chance to meet up with fellow YouTube people, do it. It's a great experience to, you know, instead of being on the screen talking or through, you know, comments and whatnot, it's even way better in person. So anyway, vinyl community, have a great day. I'm gonna go take a nap and lay down for a little while. So take care, everyone, and we'll talk to you later. See ya.